What's up, guys? We're playing Yooka-Laylee today. Now, I've played it already on the PS4, and this now is on the Nintendo Switch. As you recall, I was pretty worried about how this would turn out, if you remember, for a while, because we didn't hear anything from them. And then, when we did hear something from them, it was we're having an issue getting this to work because the latest Unity came out and kind of pushed some stuff around. We have to figure this out. But don't worry, Unity themselves are helping us, Nintendo, everyone's working together to get this thing out the door. But, of course, we hear development issues and we go, oh no, what's this thing going to look like? I guess at least they said something to us, because we saw it happen with WWE when nothing was said and it was silently released. Now, Kickstarter codes have gone out, and I was very fortunate to have someone actually send me their code because they weren't really interested in the game as much anymore, whether they had played it or maybe they just lost interest because it was taking so long to come out. Remember, this came out in April, I believe, for the PS4 and the Xbox One, so it has been a solid, 8 months now since it came out on the other systems, so I can understand. But thanks to at Lumatome, or just Luma on Twitter, for sending this over. I really appreciate it. Now, let's talk about Yooka-Laylee on the Switch, because there are some things I want to talk about here. One, you're going to notice right away, yes, there are aliasing issues. That seems to be the way with a lot of Switch games, probably how they get away with a lot of this when it comes to frame rate and just getting it to work in general at an acceptable 30 frames, because the game seems mostly smooth. But if you look around at like the stair edges here, for example, as you move the camera, you can see that aliasing, that stair step effect, that is present on a lot of hard edges like those and other characters and stuff around the game. Otherwise, it looks pretty good. Apparently it runs at 900p docked and then 600p undocked in handheld mode. Now, I've played a little bit. We're going to run through here so you guys can see how it looks. It still has that weird shadow draw distance that was present on the PS4 and the Xbox One version as well. So it's not just the Switch that does that. Now we're going to save this guy, the Skeleton guy, and then we're going to run up the ramp there, and we're going to run the course for, it was Shovel Knights up there. I got a couple pages here, and I wanted to kind of run up that side so you guys could take a look there. So we're gonna hopefully save this guy and see what we can work out from here. Let's get this guy done. There should be a bunch of enemies that come out, and we just have to mostly just fight them. And if you haven't played Yooka-Laylee, it's very similar to like a Banjo-Kazooie. In fact, it's eerily similar, and that's because the people from Rare who left, who worked on Banjo-Kazooie, went to Playtonic, pretty much created it, I believe, and then came up with Yooka-Laylee after a very successful Kickstarter campaign and everything. So this is what we got. It got some okay reviews. Otherwise, I got some criticisms for things like the camera, which we'll go over here. And overall, it has a very 90s feel to it, is what I'm gonna say. They didn't evolve the Banjo-Kazooie formula much. We'll just say that. So let's get rid of these guys. We have a nice little tail spin that we can run through them with like this, as you're seeing. And the whole point of the game is to get, where's he going? Is to get pages that are very similar to the puzzle pieces in Banjo-Kazooie, for example. And I want to get these little feathers that are kind of locked around here too, because I only need another, 5, and then I can finish unlocking all the moves in the level. But of course, you want to get everything because it is a big collectathon. Kind of like Mario Odyssey, how that's a big collectathon. This is very similar. It's not as good as Mario Odyssey, but it's still pretty good. It has a lot of charm and it's fun. So it's not as good, but I still have a good time with it. The camera is better, I will say that. It's not amazing, but it's better. Now, people talk to me about this, and I checked it out. The puns and stuff, or just the old school humor in this. There is a mode you want to change it to. It's either classic or I believe free. And for the camera settings, you want to change it to free, I believe, and that makes it so that the camera won't drift on its own or anything. You are in complete control of the camera. It still seems to have collision issues. What I mean is, it could still run into things. So if you find yourself in like a very tight section of the game where there's walls and stuff around you, it can kind of go crazy. It doesn't really pass through anything. So yeah, remember that it's gonna have that issue. Like there, where I run into something, you might find yourself it might be hard to see. So let's work up here. Shovel Knight should be up here. He tells us to go up basically this nice little obstacle course that they set up. But he's gonna have me go up here, and I need to go all the way to the top. And I did this with the PS4 version, I believe, on stream, and when I played it on video, and it wasn't too bad. But I do remember specifically the camera being a big problem, and I was getting really annoyed with that. Now the game is out on Thursday, so the 14th it's out. It's the full price of $40. It's the same price on Steam. However, it is cheaper on the PS4 and the Xbox One if you find it physically, and a lot of times they have sales digitally. But I know if you go to like GameStop, it's like, I think like 18 bucks or something, so keep that in mind. And I'm also going to leave you guys with some portable footage. Don't worry, that will be a thing, because I was, honestly, I'm completely honest with you guys, I was shocked at the portable mode. And the reason for that is because I've been, as many of us have, been used to them dropping resolution heavily when it comes to portable mode, right? We've all gotten used to this. Whenever you see portable mode, you figure the resolution is going to drop, things will be blurry. I've seen some people say, smear it with Vaseline, as Sean has said, for example, and others on Twitter. And that's fair, because, oh, I didn't get that power, I gotta get that power. That is fair because it looks like that sometimes. So let me go get this power I meant to get, and then we'll come right back here. Okay, I got to get the slurp shot. It was another power that you get. But basically lets me grab these, and then I could start like shooting these. Oh, don't want it to go like that. These like snowballs, I guess, ice balls. Ooh, so you can see some. Ooh, you can see the camera does have issue. Like when you fall in, you got the like a wall behind you. You can see what happened there. So let me get lined up here, and we'll try to stop this just how I need it to. But handheld mode, it was improved, is what I'm going to say. I was shocked that it wasn't blurry. It's not blurry at all. I don't even know how much resolution it's dropping, because I'm sure there's a dynamic resolution in place, as we've talked about before with other games. But if there is, it doesn't drop as crazy as other games will. We see it with stuff like Xenoblade, where it drops heavily, right? As you've probably seen online, news and everything, and Digital Foundry did their thing. Yeah, it can get pretty out of control at times. So that's tough to deal with sometimes for a lot of people. There are a lot of people who don't like lower frame rates, and that game isn't easy to play that way. But this one, if you were concerned about how it would look in handheld mode, don't be. It runs really well, and it looks pretty good. Draw distance is good. This is a game that you actually need decent draw distance, because you are going to be kind of jumping on the higher ledges and looking around. As you can see here, you pretty much see everything. It does the same thing in the other one, where it kind of softens the image out there and kind of makes it a little foggy. But for the most part, you can see everything. You can even see off in the distance right there. It's kind of hard to see. You can actually see the feathers on that, which is good because now I know they're there, on that little rock out there. Something that you would notice, you would think maybe there's pop in there normally, right? I'm honestly a little surprised, because it's very well done so far. I do like the game. There were some issues. I think this is a great game to have as a handheld game. Man, do I think it's a good handheld game to have. That is the top one that I'm hitting. Ooh, that might be tough to do. I think this works great as a handheld game. I will say that. So while it might not work the best as a console game with stuff like PS4 and Xbox One, since it got a lot of flack for that, perfect game to kind of travel with and take with you as a collect-a-thon. Now, it does have some juddering, some odd times where it seems like the frame rate kind of loses itself at times, but it's not like a lot. Like, it doesn't happen constantly. It happens every now and then, I'll say that. Where I'll be playing and I'm like, oh, that was an odd little stutter that just took place there. I'm wondering if it's, again, Digital Foundry's going to do some serious work to this, because this is going to be an interesting thing to look at and then compare it to something like the Xbox One and the PS4 version. Because it's going to be a pretty good comparison, I think. This is 900p, the Xbox One, the PS4 version, are 1080p. It's 30 frames on all of them. It's going to be pretty cool. Now, of course, if you want great performance across the board, just get it on the PC. You know, just do that. Don't even get it on consoles, PC. But if you want a portable version, I think this version, believe it or not, is going to be the second best version, mostly just because of that. Because it has the ability to be portable, which is great. There we go. Got the little jewel out of there. Nice. Now I can bring it back here. So I gotta go all the way back down. Oh man. There's probably an easier way back down. I could just jump down, I think, from here. Oh! Oh no! Oh no! Okay, I'm still alive. Alright, good. I forgot about that. You got that fall damage. There's another feather over there I gotta get. So I went through that. Everything went alright for the most part. I didn't really have any issues really with the camera as much, which is cool. I do think moving it to free mode, like where it's not locked or tries to follow him around, is much better. So all in all, I'm impressed. This game runs well on the Switch. I think it's much more fun as a game that can go portable and as like a docked home console version. So I do recommend getting Yooka-Laylee if you passed on it before, or if you're waiting for the Switch version. You should know it works well, and it's a good version to get, I think. So I'm gonna play a little more here, guys, and then I'm gonna jump you over to handheld mode, and we'll take a look at how it runs there. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's something you're gonna want to see for yourself in person, because it's gonna be a little harder to tell on camera. But I will tell you, it's running at 600p, but I think it might be locked. It sounds crazy, but I don't really notice anything that gets too out of control. If it drops in resolution, it's not by much. So, guys, thanks for watching. Again, Yooka-Laylee is out on the 14th. That would be Thursday. Check it out if you're interested, because I think it is a good little compliment to Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey is the better game, but if you like these type of games, these platformers, these collectathons, you really can't go wrong, I don't think, with Yooka-Laylee. I think it's still a good time. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.